You are still hitting your deadlines. You are still smiling in meetings. You are still the reliable one. And that is exactly why nobody, not your team, not your family, not even you, has noticed that something in your body is quietly breaking down. This is high-functioning burnout. It does not look like burnout. It looks like success. Until one Tuesday, out of nowhere, it doesn't. Today, I want to walk you through 3 signs you have high-functioning burnout. And honestly, if you clicked on this video, you probably have all 3. Before we get into them, just sit for a second. Feel your shoulders. Feel your jaw. Feel the quiet, tired heaviness that has been sitting behind your ribs for weeks now, that a good night of sleep does not seem to touch anymore. That is where we are going to start. Here is the wrong story you have probably been telling yourself. You are just tired. You are just busy. Everyone feels this way. It is the season. It will pass when this project ends, or when this quarter closes, or when you finally get through the next thing. And that story almost fits, because you are still functioning. Your work is still getting done. The people who count on you can still count on you. If burnout looks like collapsing at your desk, then obviously this is not burnout. You are up, you are moving, you are producing, but something in your body is not adding up. There is a quiet exhaustion underneath that no amount of weekend rest is fixing, and it keeps not fixing it. That gap between how well you are performing and how you actually feel, that gap is the signal. That is what we are walking into today. Here is what is actually happening. Your body has a set of warning lights. They light up when the system has been running too hot for too long. A tight chest that will not soften. Sleep that does not restore you. A flat feeling after a good day. A short fuse you have to actively hide. Most people, when those lights come on, slow down. They call in sick. They snap. They cry. They quit something. The lights work. They force a stop. High-functioning people do something different. Over years of practice, they learn to override the lights. They cover them with tape. The engine is still overheating. The warning is still real. They just cannot see it anymore. And so the system does not slow down. It keeps running. I want you to hold that image for the rest of this video. The warning lights are still on. You have just been trained not to look at them. Underneath the metaphor, the science is straightforward. Chronic stress reshapes the loop between your brain and your stress hormones, a system researchers call the HPA axis. Early on, cortisol runs high. Later, the whole daily rhythm flattens. Christina Maslach, who has spent about 50 years studying this, describes the syndrome as 3 things sitting together: exhaustion, cynicism, and a quiet sense that the work you do no longer matters. Each of the 3 signs I am about to walk you through is one of those Maslach dimensions, hidden underneath a coat of competence. Sign 1. The flat celebration. You finish something huge. A project you have been working on for months lands, on time, and it goes well. 6 months ago, this would have felt like something. Now, you notice you feel almost nothing. Maybe a flicker of relief. Mostly, the first thought is, what is next? Or quieter than that, I just want to lie down. That flatness is not personality. It is not gratitude failure. It is your reward system running low. When your body has been in stress mode for months, the same brain circuits that give you the feeling of a win start to blunt. The cortisol curve, the daily rhythm that should peak in the morning and fall by night, begins to lose its shape. A large 2017 meta-analysis, pulling together decades of research, found this exact pattern. The flatter the daily cortisol curve, the worse the mental and physical health outcomes across the board. Your body is still producing the hormones. They just are not moving the way they were designed to, which means the highs feel less high and the wins feel less like wins. Sign 2. The wired tired paradox. During the day, you are dragging. You need caffeine you did not used to need. Focus takes real effort. But then night comes, the time your body should be winding down, and you are suddenly awake. You reach for the phone. You scroll. You promise yourself just 15 more minutes. Then it is 1 in the morning. This pattern has a name. Researchers who study cortisol call it a flattened diurnal slope. Instead of high in the morning and low at night, the curve runs low and flat all day, then bumps up in the evening when it should be dropping. You are tired at the wrong time, wired at the wrong time. And what looks like a discipline problem. You know you should sleep. You have tried to sleep. Why can't you just sleep? Is actually a physiology problem. The system that decides when your body is on and when it is off has drifted out of tune. Sign 3. The functional detachment. This is the sneaky one. On the outside, everything looks normal. You are still kind. You are still showing up. But something under the surface has gone quiet. Meetings you used to care about feel like theater. Colleagues you used to feel connected to feel further away. You catch yourself performing warmth. At home, you are more irritable than you want to be, and you spend energy hiding it. Nothing has changed on the outside. Something has changed underneath. Maslach called this the cynicism dimension of burnout. A psychological distance the exhausted mind creates when it cannot leave a situation but cannot fully be in it either. It is not that you have stopped caring. It is that your system has quietly turned the volume down on caring, because caring at the level you used to was costing more than you had. So, 3 signs: flat winds, wired tired nights, quiet detachment behind a normal-looking face. If you are nodding through all 3, this is the part of the video where I want to slow down and say something clearly. This is education, not medical advice. If what you are feeling has been going on for a long time or has gotten heavier lately, please talk to a doctor or a therapist. Nothing on the internet, including this video, replaces someone who can actually see you. Now, why does this happen so specifically to people who are good at their jobs? Because being high functioning is the exact skill that hides the warning lights. Your whole life, you have been rewarded for pushing through, for being the reliable one, for not making it anyone else's problem. Modern work runs on this. Nobody at your job knows you did not sleep. Nobody in your team meeting can see the tight chest. There is no forcing function. There is no siren. There is nothing in your day that says, stop. This has been going on too long. Your system needs a real reset. So the system does not get one. And it does not get one for years. Which is how someone who has been functioning at 90% for a decade can wake up one morning and find they cannot get out of bed. It did not come out of nowhere. It came from every warning light you learned to ignore, on time, over and over. So, what actually helps? Not a life reset. Not quitting your job on Monday. A few small physiological things you can start letting back in. 1. Stop overriding the small signals. When your shoulders are up, notice they are up. When your jaw is clenched, notice it is clenched. When your breath goes shallow, notice it went shallow. You do not have to fix any of it in the moment. The noticing itself is what starts to reverse the override, the part of your nervous system that reads your internal state, called interoception, has to be practiced back into awareness. Working order. 2. Give your body a daily off-ramp, not just a weekly one. A weekend of rest cannot undo 250 days of override, but 10 quiet minutes at the end of every workday, a slow walk, a long exhale, a shower with your phone in another room, begins to teach the system that the danger is over. The mechanism is simple. A long exhale, longer than the inhale, activates the vagus nerve, which is the wire that carries the signal for parasympathetic recovery. It is one of the few tools you have to physically tell your body that the meeting has ended, that the day is done. 3. Change what you count as rest. If your rest is scrolling on the couch, that is not rest. That is your nervous system continuing to take input. Real rest is boring. It is walking outside without headphones. It is sitting in the car for 5 extra minutes before you go inside. It is sleep that starts on time, in a dark room most nights. Boring recovery is the only kind that actually recovers you. Here is what I want you to leave with. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not somehow failing at being a functional adult. Your body is doing exactly what a system pushed past its design does. It is running on override. The problem is not that you cannot cope. The problem is that you have gotten so good at coping. You have coped right past the signals that were meant to save you. High-functioning burnout is not a character flaw. It is a nervous system that was never given a chance to come down. And nervous systems can come down. Slowly, quietly, if you let them. If you saw yourself in one of these three, the flat winds, the wired tired nights, or the quiet detachment, tell me in the comments which one hit hardest. I read them. If this helped, a like helps the algorithm show it to someone else who has been trying to explain this feeling to themselves for months. Next video, I am going to walk through what real nervous system recovery actually looks like, day by day, in the body, not in advice, and why most of what gets called burnout recovery does not touch it. Subscribe so it lands in your feed. Thanks for watching.